Imagine, if you will, it's still December. It's cold outside, maybe a bone-chilling 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You're snuggling up on the couch. Suddenly, the power goes out. Your house quickly cools, and you find yourself wearing 2 pairs of socks, sweatpants, a sweatshirt, under a winter jacket, under a bunch of covers, in the dark. What you don't know while you're sitting there cursing your power company is that a group of hacktivists brought down the U.S. power grid. Millions of homes and businesses are plunged into darkness. Communications are cut. Banks go offline. Hospitals close, and air traffic is grounded. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode where we're going to talk about Ragnar Locker and their attacks on critical infrastructure entities so far this year. Ragnar Locker has been around since 2020 and is part of the ransomware cartel with LockBit and Conti, as well as others. Now, if you don't know who Ragnar Locker is or how they work, I did an episode explaining Ragnar Locker months ago. In case you missed that episode and want to watch it, the link is above, it's in the comment section, it's in the description, and at the end of this episode. Today, we're going to look at Ragnar Locker's laser focus on critical infrastructure and see what that means. Now, I hope you watch the full episode, but if not, you can now skip directly to my insights at the end of the episode, right from the timeline below, from the description as well. For the rest of you, let's go through the story together and see what we can learn to protect ourselves and others.
Oh, drat these computers. They're so naughty and so complex. I could pinch them.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation said that at least 52 critical infrastructure entities have been breached by the Ragnar Locker ransomware group as of January 2022. On a flash advisory that included details on the indications of compromise for such breaches, the FBI said that 52 affected organizations were situated across 10 different sectors, including energy, financial services, government, and IT. Details of the specific entities have not been revealed, or the extent to which the ransomware gang was able to extort the affected organizations. However, one high-profile target of the group was Capcom, the attack on which nearly 500,000 individuals got affected. The group has been known to the FBI since April 2020, and in that time, Ragnar Locker has influenced the techniques of other ransomware gangs such as Maze, and they joined the so-called ransomware cartel, including LockBit, Conti, SunCrypt, and Maze. Congratulations, you're doing a great job by wanting to learn about the Ragnar Locker ransomware gang. I appreciate your support by watching my episode about it. If you're new to my channel and have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel and smashing the bell to be notified when I upload new episodes where I give you insights into the newest, important cybersecurity news stories like this one. With my insights, you can be better prepared to protect your company, your family, and of course yourself against these and other cyber attacks. So hit the subscribe button now, and let's continue to learn about this story together. The threat to critical infrastructure organizations, especially from ransomware, has been greater in the past few years. High-profile attacks on the likes of Colonial Pipeline have proved to threat actors that these types of organizations cannot afford downtime, meaning they're more likely to pay a ransom demand, despite industry advice admonishing the practice. The FBI even made the rare admission in their flash advisory that it understands critical infrastructure organizations may feel they need to pay the ransom given the operational importance of their services, though it did reiterate that payment should never be made. In light of the heightened risk presented by ransomware as well as the recent conflict in Ukraine, critical infrastructure organizations can benefit from a new free cybersecurity service delivered by Cloudflare, CrowdStrike, and Ping Identity, as the trio announced the initiative right around the same time as the flash advisory. The cybersecurity companies announced the launch of the Critical Infrastructure Defense Project, which will provide free security services to critical infrastructure organizations, as the risk of cyber attacks against them is thought to have increased since war broke out in Eastern Europe. The free services will last for 4 months, which is nothing. Cloudflare told IT Pro, though, beneficiaries will be notified well ahead of their end date. Well, what happens if they get attacked after that? Who knows? Vulnerable organizations can request free access to Cloudflare's full suite of zero-trust security products, CrowdStrike's endpoint protection and intelligence services, and Ping Identity's zero-trust identity products, in addition to a step-by-step guide on how to defend against cyber attacks. We rely on our infrastructure to power our homes, to provide access to water and basic necessities, and to maintain critical access to healthcare, said Matthew Prince, co-founder and CEO at Cloudflare. That's why it's more important than ever for the security industry to band together and ensure that our most critical industries are protected and prepared. but you're only providing the service for 4 months, so whatever. So what can we learn? Well, Ragnar Locker has attacked 52 critical infrastructure entities as of January 2022. What does that mean? Well, they were found in April 2020, and up until January 2022, they attacked 52 critical infrastructure entities. That's one ransomware gang. That's pretty mind-blowing. Doing anything for that matter 52 times is a pretty good achievement. 52 home runs. Okay, maybe Little League, but 52 touchdowns or 52 push-ups. Critical infrastructure, like the power generation and the distribution of power, is becoming more complex and reliant on networks of connected devices. For that matter, everything we own is becoming more connected and complex. I, right now, am getting my electric vehicle charging station installed right outside my house with Wi-Fi and LAN connectivity. How do I manage its security or updates and patches? Do I really trust the manufacturer when they say it does it all by itself? I have no idea. I'll figure it out once it's finished being installed. Now, a few decades ago, power grids and other critical infrastructure operated in isolation. Now they're far more interconnected, both in terms of geography and across sectors. So the power grid scenario I used at the beginning of this episode, when power went out and you're freezing cold and you're cursing your power company, it highlights the failure of one critical infrastructure potentially leading to a devastating chain reaction. The very first documented power outage caused by a malicious cyber attack happened in 2015. No, it wasn't in the US, it was in the Ukraine. 3 utilities companies in the Ukraine, where Russia is currently causing a war, were hit by black energy malware in 2015, leaving hundreds of thousands of homes without electricity for 6 hours. Okay, 6 hours, big deal, right? Well, it doesn't seem like a long time, but in freezing weather, like in the example at the beginning of the episode, or if you have a loved one who requires medical devices to stay alive, it is an eternity. Researchers later found out that the malware targeted the utility firm's SCADA systems, and probably began with a phishing attack. I guess you're not familiar with what SCADA is. It stands for Supervisory, Control, and Data Acquisition. A few months after that attack, the Israel National Electricity Authority suffered a major cyber attack themselves. Since then, we have seen a bunch of high-profile attacks, including the Colonial Pipeline attack last year, which I did an episode about. The link is above, it's in the comment section, the description, and of course at the end of the episode in case you want to go back in time and watch it. Of course, no discussion about critical infrastructure attacks is complete without someone mentioning the Stuxnet attack against the Iranian nuclear program. Now, I thought to say some 60-year-old hacker in his basement taking over a nuclear plant is just insane. But what's the point here? We're talking about Ragnar Locker, one group that just happens to have attacked 52 critical infrastructure organizations in about 2 years. Think again. Including Ragnar Locker, there are 10 well-documented hacker groups known to target critical infrastructure, including a number of state-backed hacking operations like Electrum, aka Sandworm, linked to Russia, Covalite, linked to North Korea, Vanadinite, linked to China. So you have 10 hacker groups proactively attacking critical infrastructure around the world. Now, according to research from Dragos, they validated 1,301 advisories with 3,286 individual CVEs that affect industrial equipment worldwide. Now, you can break those down into categories like how many required the attacker to be inside the network. That number, 310. How many could cause the company to lose view and control of their own environment? That number, 108. About 20% of those 1,301 advisories, or 260 in case you don't do the math, have publicly available proof of concepts. And 20% of those 1,301, again, 260, have no patch available. Now, as noted in the article, some cybersecurity firms, including Cloudflare and CloudStrike, are providing free services for these critical infrastructure companies for a whopping 4 months. Does that fix the problem? Not by a long shot. Part of the issue is that some of these companies are using ancient systems and outdated software or older protocols in parts of their network, which makes it harder to even determine if you've been compromised and where in your network you might be compromised. And this is what experts call the biggest cybersecurity weakness facing industrial networks, because without a full picture of what needs to be protected, it's just not possible to fully defend networks from hackers. And that point is not just for industrial networks. Again, I'm getting an electric car charger right outside my house that connects to my Wi-Fi and my LAN. I need to know how to protect it, what rules I need to put into my router to make sure that it doesn't go rogue on me. Now, I've been making this point for ages. Just think back to all the episodes of mine you were kind enough to watch. How many times have I said you need to document your network, your software used, versions, hardware, blah, blah, blah. This simple task translates to all networks, corporate and private. This means your house as well. How many systems do you have running that are connected to the internet? Go check your router. How many don't even have a name for some reason? Remember the episode where I was ranting about my Wi-Fi enabled full induction stove and my fictitious super deluxe double door ice crushing Wi-Fi enabled refrigerator that pings me when I need eggs? If you're not monitoring traffic to and from these devices, then your home network is in just as bad a shape as the critical infrastructure industry. Now, you can use applications like Wireshark or some Python scripts to download your router's logs and analyze them based on, say, incoming and outgoing IP or port traffic. You can get really creative with what you want to analyze, maybe catch a loved one surfing porn at 4 a.m., I don't know. Have fun with it. The crescendo of this episode is that it's not just the critical infrastructure being attacked or used for nefarious activity. Your home network could be used as a bot, say, in an attack against a critical infrastructure entity, and you might not even know about it. You have an obligation for your own cyber safety and your family's cyber safety, as well as the critical infrastructure industry, to make sure your network is as secure as possible. So, start documenting what you have in your home that connects to the internet. I think you'll be amazed at really how long the list ends up being. With that, I say thanks again for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already, and smash the bell if you haven't already. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care.
Don't forget to ride. Farewell.